Good
believe
afternoon,
it.
everybody. Hi.
So I was just asking you because you just got back from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I was originally supposed to be here for I think both days this weekend, but then I got an opportunity to go to a convention in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, which I wanted to do because my sister and her family have lived and taught there for 10 years now. I've never gone to visit them, and they're leaving in at the end of the school year to take another position. So yeah, so I left Los Angeles on Monday. I landed in Saudi Arabia. It goes Los Angeles to Doha to Jeddah on Wednesday at like 3 a.m., 5 a.m. local time there, and then the convention was Thursday and Friday evening. It's weird. And then Saturday morning, we flew from from Jeddah to Doha to Chicago, and then we got into Columbus last night. I wear one of these Aura rings that tracks your body and stuff like that, and I checked the app this morning, and it said, "What is wrong with you?" So I'm fine. I'll be good.
Of course.
I'll be good.
Of course.
Maybe.
Maybe. Better than me.
Oh, you know, I'm way better than you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and in the wrestling world, we call it making towns. So you're making towns.
There it is.
Yes. So I kind of wanted to start by something very important.
Yeah.
Spotify Wrap just happened, and your top artist was Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Big moment.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. The other four were like Chris Stapleton, the Beatles. Oh gosh, there was one other. Oh, Jordan Davis, and then one other. But then, far and away, the top artist was Taylor Swift. I'm in the top 5% of Swifties. So I think you know that my daughter controls the Spotify selection in the car, which is fine. I mean, look, she's awesome,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
Have you gotten a lot of like friendship bracelets yet?
yeah, I do.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
believe it.
I get a ton of conventions actually. Yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah.
All right. Well, a completely different pivot. I wanted to mention Code 8 Part 2.
Yeah.
Finally next
Yeah.
year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What can you tell us about the film?
So we shot it back in 2021. It was supposed to come out in October, and they moved it because of the strike, which I think ultimately is going to be great because I've had to go through the process of not being able to promote something once, and it nearly got me kicked off the internet. So this is going to be great. It's coming out in the early part of next year. There'll be another big trailer coming soon. I think more in the new year. But it's good. It's a really good movie. I'm very proud of it. Robbie's great in it. We have some new additions to the cast, which you guys will meet, that are really terrific. I'm fantastic in it.
I believe it. I believe it.
So, see if I can slip that one by. I know. I know that I'm halfway decent in it because we watched it like 10 days ago, and there's a really cool scene between Robbie and I where I am evil, and at the end of it, my wife put her hand on my shoulder and was like, "Hey." That means it was good, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited for it. I'm very proud of it. We're gonna be doing a press tour for it. We're gonna have a premiere for it. Working with Netflix has been really great. They're very collaborative and very thoughtful, and are really rolling out the, no pun intended, are really rolling out the red carpet for us, and are actually really positioning it as one of their first big Canadian films, which is cool.
That's great. I wanted to ask about, like, because you're also a producer on it as well. Can you tell us a little bit about the production side of things?
Well, the production side of things, in both instances, in the first one and the second one, I am a producer, but it's more, for me, in the first one, it was more about producing insofar as I was the main avenue by which we generated the money to shoot it. But because I was shooting Arrow, I basically parachuted in at the last minute and then parachuted out. Got yanked out. And then on the second one, I had a little bit more time, was able to be a little bit more collaborative. But, you know, it's really no different than what I sort of grew into on Arrow by maybe like the second season or thereabouts, and very much also the role that I had on Heels, where I'm a quality control person. When I read a script, obviously I do focus on my stuff and I have to learn my stuff, but I give just the same amount of focus to everything else. So I want to make sure I'm a continuity person. Okay, I'm anal in that sort of way. So I just like to make sure that everything makes sense, because I'll be the first person if I'm watching something going, no, that doesn't make sense, like that. So I annoy people when I do that, but I annoy them principally because I'm always right.
Fair. I'm glad we settled that.
Oh, the sound bites that I'm going to get out of this panel today is exciting.
So, you know I have to ask the obligatory wrestling question.
Sure.
How do you feel about CM Punk returning to the WWE?
Great. Yeah, good. I'm really excited for him. He and I are working out tomorrow, actually. Oh. It's leg day. That's how you beat jet lag, by the way. Leg day. Actually. No, I'm really excited for Phil, for CM Punk. You know, he deserves. I think he'll be the first to tell you that he's not a spring chicken anymore, that he doesn't necessarily have, you know, another 10, 12, 15 years, but I know that there are a lot of people that he wants to work with, and I also know, and I don't want to speak too much for him or speak out of school, but when I got to know him, I still got the sense that there was a little bit of unfinished business within the WWE, and I don't think anyone ever wants to leave something on bad terms, someplace on bad terms. So I'm excited for him. I hope he has a great run. And God, I really wanted to be in Chicago for Survivor Series. I've missed his AEW debut and his WWE return. The bottom line is, if I don't go to a major pay-per-view, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah. Damn it.
Man. So if you guys want to start lining up for your questions, while we're waiting for them to line up, Stephen, I wanted to know, if Green Arrow was a fashion critic, what fashion advice do you think he would give to other superheroes? And cape or no cape?
No, he already gave his one piece of fashion advice. Wear a mask. That's it.
Great.
I would just like to say that nobody told me that I was going to be seated next to Evangeline Lilly today.
Oh, are you?
I just saw her for the first time ever. I am shook. You can tell her I said that if you're in her line, because I'm certainly not going to talk to her. Jesus Christ. Oh, my goodness. Hey.
Who is your favorite person to work with on the series?
David. Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to say that because, you know, he was kind of first. You know, we probably spent the most time together. I mean, but at the end of the day, I probably spent the most amount of time with Emily. But, you know, Emily, for all that she did on the show, 9 out of 10 times, she wasn't there on the rooftop at 3 a.m. when it was raining. And that forms a particular kind of bond. And also, David and I just had the ability, even at the worst of times, to just make each other laugh with the stupidest, most repetitive jokes that you can imagine, which, again, at 3 o'clock in the morning on a rooftop when it's raining and it's cold. In fact, the weather for Arrow was just kind of like what it's like out right now. That's Vancouver from like November through March. So we needed senses of humor, and David always brought that. Thank you.
Did you learn how to do
Archery?
Yeah, did you do it or was it like animate? Like, did they have to do it like?
What do you think? No, I practiced a lot with archery. Now, I think one of the most dangerous things that you can do when you're on a film set is shoot an arrow. Like really? Because I mean, in the pilot, I aim an arrow at someone, and I actually had the arrow aimed at them. And I remember just turning to the producers and going, "This isn't going to end well." So they wrote this big, massive safety briefing, which I think kind of overdid it a little bit. But 99.9% of the time when you see me drawing and firing an arrow, it's CGI. But my form had to be good. So almost through osmosis over time, I became really good at archery. Yeah, still am.
Who else from the Arrowverse would you wish you could have worked with more?
Who else from the Arrowverse I wish that I could have worked with more? Oh, man. Tyler as Superman. Just because my first experience with superheroes was not a comic book. It was Superman 1 and Superman 2 principally with Christopher Reeves. To this day, the first Superman movie, when Lex Luthor puts the chain with the kryptonite on him and puts him in the pool, I can't watch it. It scares the shit out of me, as it did when I was a kid. So I took great pleasure in saying stuff like, "I believe Clark," and Superman, and that was really cool. And I thought Tyler did a great job, and is doing a great job. So I'd say Tyler.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, you seem like a very adventurous guy who enjoys very active, like being very active.
Yeah.
You know, like WWE, American Ninja Warrior, all that stuff. What's an adventure you haven't done yet, or some kind of like action activity that you want to do?
All those things that you mentioned happened in my 30s. Man, that's a good, that's a great question. I would have said skydiving, which I've never done. But since I've had kids, I don't want to do any of that stuff. Having children, just all of a sudden, it was like it activated the mortality thing in my brain, because I remember I thought it would be a really good idea to surprise my wife when we were in Vancouver. As you drive up, there's this beautiful ski resort called Whistler. Yeah. And as you drive up there, there's an awesome bungee jumping spot where you bungee jump, and it's mountains everywhere, and it's over a river. It's picturesque. It's beautiful. And I thought that this was going to be a great idea until I got there. And there's photos of my wife just jumping off backwards, a smile on her face, and then there's just me like this. And when it came time for it to be my turn, I was just like, no. And I was fine with that decision. And then this Australian guy that was running it went, come on, and just brought me right up there and said, jump, you'll be fine. And I wasn't fine. I'm still not fine.
You did it, though.
So I'll watch my kids go on adventures with helmets on.
Great question.
What was the hottest thing you had to learn in the L universe? Like something you had to physically build your body up to do?
Oh, I was going to say Mandarin.
That works too.
I had to physically build my brain. They cut that scene. I'll kill them. Well, I think that ultimately the most challenging thing was in the early days of the show, and by the early days I mean like the first season, maybe even second season, we would have more time to rehearse fights. And as the show moved along, it's not that we didn't spend as much time rehearsing fights. We just didn't have as much time because everything started to become more sprawling, and I started to become busier. And so the thing that I really had to learn is I had to learn how to pick up a fight by basically watching the stunt guys shoot something called a previs. They'll shoot the fight, right? So you watch it and you sort of look at the moves. And then I was learning a lot of these fights on the day that we were shooting them, right? So we'd block out the scene and then we would shoot it like, okay, here's the move. It is you fire an arrow, you duck, you punch a guy in the stomach, you back elbow a guy, you get hit in the leg, and then we cut. And so you bang, 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 bang. Get up to speed, shoot it, and then move to the next shot. And if I wasn't able to do that, then I wouldn't have been able to do as many of the stunts. And if I wasn't able to do as many of the stunts, then that changes the way that we have to shoot the show, and then it's not the show anymore. So being able to pick up things on the day, on the fly, and still be safe was probably the hardest thing.
Sounds very hard.
It is hard. You should try it. You should try it. Oh, I just wanted to mention, too, that this is predominantly Browns fans here. Yeah. I have Rams season seats, and I couldn't go today, but my buddy, who's from Ohio, big Browns fan, he's getting married. I'm officiating his wedding, and for the wedding present, I gave him the tickets to the game. Yeah.
I hope they win.
I don't.
Okay. At least you're honest.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering, is there any chance or hope that anyone is going to pick up more heels?
Yeah, there is. I think what you'll notice right now is that you actually can't find heels on any platform right now. Like, it's not on Stars anymore, which I'm not going to get into the reasons why that happened. Honestly, it's like a tax write-off thing, believe it or not. I don't know. That part of the business I try to stay away from. I think that it will be available on an excellent platform quite soon.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very coy. All right.
Hi, my name is Blaine. So for Arrow, or just any of your characters, you're not very happy in any of them, believe it or not. So did you have to channel any inner anger from those scenes, or was it all just acting?
Well, I mean, like, listen, man, anger's easy.
Okay.
Like, anger's easy. Anything that's at an end of the spectrum, right? Real anger, genuine joy, okay? Easy. The challenging parts are in the middle, right? So, no, I have anger. I have anger. Like, sometimes when I look at my daughter's room, I have anger. Or like when my wife messes up all the pillows on the couch and leaves blankets everywhere, anger. But not that kind of anger. No, that's more acting, I think. I would like to play a happy character, though. Yeah. Okay.
What's going on, Stephen? How you doing? First off, before I ask my question, I actually just wanted to say I really appreciate your hard work on Arrow for all 8 seasons. I also appreciate your hard work playing as Casey Jones in the Ninja Turtles movie. But I had a question about Vampire Diaries with your role. Like, do you have any good or bad experiences, playing on Vampire Diaries?
Playing on Vampire Diaries was amazing. I wish it had been called The Werewolf Diaries, because then I would have been the hero of that story. That was a really... I'll tell you about that job, right? It was 2010. It was 2010, and it was my first year in Los Angeles, first year in the States working there, and I had a really, really excellent first year. I had done CSI Miami and NCIS Los Angeles, and I'd gotten really close on a couple of things, and I just finished screen testing for and ultimately not getting the role of Spartacus to replace Andy Whitfield, believe it or not. And I had come home from that, and obviously I was disappointed, but, you know, it happens. Obviously for the best, I would assume. And it was just after Thanksgiving, and I was prepared to be done for the year. And my agent called me up, and he said, I have good news and I had bad news. And I said, what's the good news? And he said, the good news is because I had auditioned for Vampire Diaries a bunch, he said, you just got offered a part of the Vampire Diaries. It's at least 2 episodes. And I said, okay, what's the bad news? And he's like, they need you in Atlanta tonight. I was single. I didn't give a shit. That wasn't bad news at all. I had nothing to do. I was just going to sit and watch TV. You couldn't even binge TV shows at that point in time. What was I going to do? So I got right there. I had a wonderful experience. You know, I did a lot of work with Ian and with Paul, and they were great, and with Nina as well, with Candace. Really, really cool to meet Julie and Kevin, the 2 showrunners there, and you know, to get an introduction. To get an introduction in some way, shape, or form to the CW. Because if you go back and watch those episodes, it's not a ton different from Brady the Werewolf and Season 1 Oliver Queen. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
My question is, what was your initial reaction when you saw that they were introducing Barry Allen into the CW?
I was really, really excited. The first season of Smallville, they were going to be the show where Superman doesn't fly, right? And the first season of Arrow, we were the superhero show with no superpowers. Well, after the first season, they called me into Greg Berlanti's office, and they said, awesome news. I said, okay. They said, you know, this first season was great. We did great. We're going to introduce Barry Allen on Arrow in the second season. We're going to then launch that into a pilot, and we're going to try to build the Justice League on TV. And wouldn't you know it, that's exactly what they did. But they said, but that whole no superpowers thing, yeah, we're going to switch that up. And that's cool. That happens. So I was really, really excited. You know, it was our success that gave them the confidence to then launch it into other shows. And then those shows got to stand on their own. But yeah, amazing. And, you know, I was asked earlier, you know, who was the person in the Arrowverse that maybe you wanted to work with more? And, you know, I say Tyler, but I could never get enough of working with Grant Gustin. I loved working with him. He just brought out like a levity in my character that was so welcome after sulking around. You know, I remember his very first day on set and just watching him sort of stutter and stammer on purpose, not because he was nervous or not doing his job, in character, and just giving him looks, and just all of a sudden it felt like it unlocked something in my performance that I hadn't seen yet or felt yet. So,
all right, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Hi, so I actually haven't introduced myself this whole weekend as my chosen name. My chosen name is Andrew Jonathan, after Barrowman. Yeah. Because he's kind of helped me figure out who I am. On the Barrowman note, you got any funny stories about him? I mean, the man's like a wacky goofball.
Is he here?
No.
Okay. I never know what he's going to pop out from behind. Gosh, funny John Barrowman stories. Well, I worked with John for God, the better part of 3-4 months before I knew he had a Scottish accent. we were shooting, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I remember it was episode 16 of season 1. It was a very, very like critical episode, and John was heavily involved, and it was the episode where Tommy finds out that that Oliver is the Arrow. Really, really fun episode, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. We're on stage, and the phone rings, and it's John's parents, and all of a sudden he's going, "Yeah, right, Mom, you can't do it like that." Like, what? What the fuck? So yeah, just everything with John. Without getting into like a specific story, because there's so many that it's difficult, John could be relied upon to bring an energy and an exuberance and a good nature and humor to set, regardless of the time of day, how tired everyone was, the weather conditions, you name it. And that is invaluable when you're shooting over a 10-month show. So I can see why he would have such an influence on you, because that's what he does. He helps people, and he approaches everyone that he meets with zero judgment. So that's a good idea. You're welcome.
Hello. My question is, so within the Arrowverse, if you had a choice, who else would you be, hero or villain, besides your own character?
Yeah, I would have loved to have played Prometheus. So good. That's so good. Josh Segarra was so good. I really, really dug that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Oh, God.
Natalie's are back.
Yeah, what's up, Stephen? Sorry, I messed with the mic. Okay, yeah, I forgot what my question was for a second. In your real life, what lessons did you take away from being the Green Arrow? Maybe like the experiences that Oliver went through.
You're always better off not doing it alone. Did you just? Yeah. Listen, you're in any scenario. You should always be thoughtful and humble enough to ask for help. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay.
And then my question is, you've kind of touched on this before, but at other cons, you've said that your favorite crossover episode or one of your favorites was the body swap one.
Yeah, it's my favorite for sure.
We just watched that one last night.
Oh, good.
And so, like, it was different. Like you said in the show, like playing Barry Allen, you guys had to like get into each other's mindsets in the show. And you've kind of talked about how you were sulking around. How was it being able to have more fun and be a little more joyful? Did you wish you could have more of that, like another Flash body swap?
Like right now?
Anytime.
No, that was so much fun. That was so much fun. It's like, think of it this way. It's like when you're growing up, you like your house and you like your room and you like your bed, but sleepovers at your friend's house are really fun. And that's what crossovers were like. It was like going for a sleepover at somebody's house, you know? And like the food is different, and you know, maybe the TV's cooler, and I don't know. But yeah, that was great. I mean, we had a bunch of fun ideas for that. Like, my whole idea was, and it's a very, very like subtle thing. Like, you don't actually. I think that they cut this scene, but the first scene that you see in that episode, after they kind of do the introduction of the monitor and the doctor and the book and stuff like that, is Oliver sitting up in bed, and you don't notice it as much because again they cut this scene, but he doesn't have any tattoos, right? We actually had a scene where I walk to the mirror and I stop and I double take and I'm like that, and just right from there, like there was a kind of like a quickness to my movement. And like a little bit of like a goofiness that I never would have done if I was back on Arrow. So that was really fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good questions.
My name is Jason. I'm trying to kind of, because I'm meeting you for the first time, you're like an idol to me, so it's kind of different. My question to you was on the Flash and Arrow episode in season 1, where it was pretty much you, trying to get Barry to stop being so angry with his.
Oh yeah, like our first crossover.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to know, what was your favorite scene in that episode that you did?
That's a good question. The fight was fun because the fights are fun, but fights aren't not in real life, kids, unless they deserve it. The fight was fun, but that's not. We don't get to really interact that much. It was more, and I think this was the first day that we shot. Actually, was where Oliver and Barry meet out of this warehouse outside of Central City.
Like a farm, like
a farm, and he shoots him. You know, but that was us getting to kind of interact over the day, and also like a cool behind the scenes story from there is one of the executive producers on The Flash had just, because I think at that point in time, I think The Flash had either premiered or was about to premiere, but they hadn't really seen anything yet. And one of the executive producers was showing Grant just back in our green room area, like a cut of the beginning of episode 2 or 3, where they do all of this like speeding and stuff like that. And it was the first time they introduced it, and just seeing how excited he was, like that whole day overall, that was cool.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we got about 10 minutes left. I know you like to get through your lines.
Hi, my name is Ava, and I was just wondering, how do you like stay serious when you're doing serious scenes, or how do you stay into character when you're doing like romantic scenes? Because I know you were in Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, I mean, serious scenes. Again, like I'm saying, staying serious. I don't think staying serious is that tough. Romantic scenes. I like making out. It's not that hard, you know.
Fair enough.
It's not like Oliver wasn't. The women were quite attractive. Next question.
Thank you. Great question.
I just have sort of a fun one to bring it back to your Spotify Wrapped. What's
Sure.
your favorite Taylor Swift song?
The Archer.
I should have known.
No, actually, I like I like Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince.
It's a good one. I really like that one too. It was actually on my top
I know.
5.
Was it really?
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Cruel Summer.
Yeah, it's a good song too. Yeah, my daughter got to go to the concert, but we also got I got for her birthday, I got like 10 tickets to the opening night of the when it came out on like the movie. It was fun. A lot of dancing.
Loved it.
Not me. Maybe a little.
I won't tell anyone that you did.
Well, it's being recorded.
I gotta say, I love yours and Grant's energy on the show.
Thank you.
Which gave me so many ideas to write fan fiction of Oliver and Barry as a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, if y'all did do a season 9 of Arrow, what would be the villain you wanted to face off of in that season?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I just know that I would want it to be rated R. Yeah, I was saying to someone earlier that there were so many limitations that we would have on the show, where, you know, Oliver could literally kill 25 people, but we couldn't show any blood. Didn't make a ton of sense. So I just want to do like the, I just wanted like the hard R version of it. I think would be cool.
I agree.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I love Arrow.
Thank you.
Hi. If Oliver Queen was to get hit by dark matter, what powers do you think he would develop?
Sense of humor. Patience. Oh gosh, I don't know. What do you think?
Maybe he like shoots arrows out of his arm or something.
That'd be a good one. Just like Wolverine, except he just flies out.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
It's a good idea.
Well, thank you.
Write that down.
my name is David.
Hey, man.
My question, I got this from a friend. It's which character do you think is better, Green Arrow or Batman?
I don't care what everyone else's opinion is, but obviously I'm going to say Green Arrow. Batman's old.
Depends who's playing him.
It does. It does.
Hi again. I had a question. You were in like CSI Miami and
Yeah.
the other ones. You were in New Girl. What was it
Yeah.
like to be in New Girl? Because that was a little different from your usual.
See, from earlier,
personas.
that character was happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, he had to do a ton of drugs, but he was happy. That was fun. That was fun. You know, that was really early days for me. And I think one of the first scenes that I had to shoot, I had to pee my pants and stuff like that. And I just didn't know any better. You know, I just didn't know any better. And it was my first time kind of professionally in the United States doing a comedy. And I just know that when I went and I did the audition, I made them laugh. And so as long as they were laughing, I just said, okay, I'll just try this. Great group, great cast. I did the New Girl podcast that Zoe and Hannah do, and it would be amazing to be on a show like that, a comedy where you got so many people that were all tight and really good people, and I've stayed in touch with a bunch of them. They're all great.
Your being in there was actually the only reason I watched.
Oh,
the show.
good. Well, good. Well, check out the rest of the show.
I've seen it all now.
Oh, go down. There you go.
I started it.
Okay.
Hi, Steve. My name is Carlos. When you came out, you were like through the roof compared to Robbie. And was your relationship with him at that time more like you were above him in all metrics, in terms of money, in terms of looks, in terms of popularity?
Well, I'm older.
I'm sure he hit you up for some money as well.
No, no way.
He didn't?
No.
Oh.
No, I hit him up for some money when I was first in LA, actually. True story.
But when you became famous and your contracts went through the roof, I'm sure he, at that point in time.
No, come on, man. Nope.
Now that Robbie has kind of started to blow up a little bit, are you two still have the same dynamics in terms of the relationship?
Yeah, we've never been competitive that way. You know, I'm a big believer in the saying that, you know, a rising tide lifts all ships, and you know, when people see, like, as an example, now that we are back to work and the strike is over, there are some interesting opportunities coming my way. And one of the opportunities, I am being boosted by the fact that it's for a network where Robbie has a really good relationship. And I think him coming to the CW, a lot of that had to do with the fact that I had a good relationship there. So it's not competitive at all that way. I cheer for his success every step of the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Upload is such a great show.
Upload is great. Everyone, if you haven't checked out Robbie in Upload, dude's hilarious. He's really good in the second Code 8, too.
Hey, Stephen.
Hi.
So I know that you had to face a lot of villains in your show, you know, Ra's al Ghul, Damien Dark, and Slade. My question is, who do you feel was your favorite villain to work with or have fight scenes with in your whole Arrow run?
I mean, they were all great. I'm always going to be partial to Prometheus because, aside from Josh's performance, it was the fact that Prometheus was a villain of Oliver's creation. The fact that we took something that he did in this first season and made it come back and bite him in the you-know-what 4 seasons later, I always thought was really cool. And then we got to do some of these flashbacks where I got to go into like the season 1 suit and do stuff like that. I thought that whole arc, I think that tip to tail in terms of storytelling, that season 5 was probably our best season. And I think it was really because of what Josh brought to the equation.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So we have time for like 1 or 2 more questions, unless you want to super rapid fire. Four more.
Four
You
more.
got it.
Okay. We'll try. Hi.
So I know there's a lot of special effects that go into the CW shows of Arrowverse. What is one scene that you did that you felt was just so silly while filming it and ridiculous that you know special effects was gonna take care of, but like as you did it, just felt silly?
Oh, jeez, that's a great question. Oh my God, the first time I had to run as the Flash. Oh my God, it is the worst. It is you just have to bend over, and you're bent over, and then your arms just going. The worst. And then also too, like the first time that I had to like speed stop, where you just come like that. The worst. Hopefully it looked okay. What's up, man?
What was the funniest moment that you had on set?
Ever?
On Arrow.
Oh boy, I think it was more like just. Oh yeah, this is a funny John Barrowman story, actually. We were walking into Nanda Parbat, and it was the episode where like Thea's died, and we're trying to bring her to the Lazarus pit, and I'm having to carry her. And now I'm strong, but it's still a human being, and it's late at night, and I've done it a bunch, and I'm getting tired. And John was talking about how his farts don't smell. And it was the whole cast is talking about how like really you fart. Yeah, they're having this conversation, and I'm carrying Willa, and I finally turned around and said, "Just fart in my mouth and prove it." People enjoyed that apparently. I didn't, but the cast did. There you go. They were just in the nick of time. John Barrowman story.
Hi. You mentioned earlier in the body swap episode that Oliver didn't have all his tattoos and stuff.
Yeah.
How long did it take to put all the tattoos and scars on?
90 minutes.
90 minutes?
90 minutes.
Wow.
So if I had other stuff on my face, that'd be different. But the front and the back, 90 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, let's do two more. 'Cause we need to
Okay.
get to the
All right. Two more. There we go.
Hello, my name is Ryan.
Hey, man.
I love Arrow. I love the Arrowverse as a whole. First of all, I just want to point out that you look like a Green Arrow and you look like a Black Canary.
Hey.
I just want to point out that you guys, how was when Robbie got introduced on the Flash as Firestorm? How was it like working with him on the CW?
I mean, it was great. Working with Robbie, we had this one scene together where oddly we don't say anything to each other or even like look at each other, which was strange. But no, it was great. We work differently. You know, he's just like very, very easygoing. I'm a little bit more particular. You know, I prepare in a certain way. He prepares in a certain way. But working with him is great. I think we have a nice synergy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the final question.
Hi, I'm Nick. Nice to meet you. Nick, I was wondering, since you've been through and had a lot of time working with fans and working with other people, what do you think where have you felt the most impact of your work in acting?
Wow, that's a good last question. Well, having a platform is an interesting thing, and having a platform has given me an opportunity to get behind causes that I'm very passionate about, be it fighting cancer or mental health or just being able to identify things. And a lot of people come up and they say that watching this show did the following thing for me, and it's always like it's always unique and it's always powerful and it never gets old. It's an incredible privilege. So I think that just having the opportunity to be someone that people look up to or lean on, or because there are people that lean on me that I've never met. Right? It's an interesting thing, and it forces me to try and carry myself a certain way, which is a blessing.
Thank you.
That's a good question. Thank you.